let's come back home. Are you going to be the desirable, or just the, remember, when you're just available, you might be relegated to the background at any point, but when you become the desirable, you'll be cherished. They will know they can never do without
Exactly.
you. And that can only be if you are determined to knowing what you were meant to be, to doing what you were meant to do, and to becoming what you are supposed to be. Determination is needed in life, my friend. It's needed in life. You are in school already. You can determine to be the best. Being the best doesn't mean trying to outrun every other person, trying to be, the only cow. What does cow do? Birds sings, right? They said that, okay, lion roar,
yes,
right? So what does cow do? Whatever he is. So you cannot be the only lion in the jungle that roars alone, right? So meaning that you can determine to be successful in the class, but not at the detriment of every other person. So that is to say that determination is very important, but determined to be the best, not to victimize others. Be the best, to be a blessing to other people. Determination is very important. Without it, you will not be able to get to the top. Without it. So, man of God, I know, if someone is not determined to succeed, automatically the opposite would be the case,
exactly,
right? So, are there consequences to not working or being determined?
Like you had said, you can't sit on the fence. It's either you are determining to succeed,
okay,
or you may not know that you've determined to fail, but your action shows that you're just determined to fail if you're not taking the necessary steps. I think the other time I cited an example which still happens this morning.
Okay.
As I had to prepare myself and my daughter at the same time,
okay,
because I needed to drop her off in school.
Okay.
Normally the early hours of the day, it's when you really want to sleep and enjoy the sleep well, but duty calls.
Okay.
There's a vision to be fulfilled. You need to wake up and get prepared and get to school. The same, so I had to wake her up, give her her bed, and dress her or feed her and all of that. Okay. And I always discovered that at that initial stage she will not be happy about it, but along the line she will start coping and all of that. So that is life, what life is all about. There are some, these early hours, are still on their bed,
okay,
thinking that things will just happen on its own. You're just sleeping. In fact, you're just preparing to fail. So it takes deliberate effort, like I said earlier.
Okay.
If not, you will not be happy with where you will end. The thing about it is that, about life, is that life can be predicted by your actions.
Okay.
You can predict. I know I'm bringing in the God factor anyway, but your actions per time can predict. We are product of our previous actions.
Okay.
So by what we are doing consistently, it will predict where you are heading if you are determined to succeed. So also, if what you're practicing, if what you're doing is not on the positive side, okay, is not the positive energy, you are just you just fall aside. Exactly.
All right, thank you so much. So Pastor Suriname has given a very typical example of what happened to him today. So he had to wake up early because he knew he was going to come here, and then the daughter has to be in school, so he has to dress good father. No, fathers we celebrated last Sunday, so it's a good father, so you have to do that, and that's amazing. That's amazing. And then there's a point you also make, which
yes,
I want to differ from what you say. There are people that walk in the night and sleeps in the morning.
No, I didn't speak in that
direction.
Exactly.
Okay, so that you will not think
my wife does that.
Okay,
well.
so you will not think, hey, no, I'm sleeping now, I'm having my co-sleep, so does it mean I will not succeed?
No.
I already did a lot I'm supposed to have done in the night. So it doesn't mean that, okay. No. But the truth is, you must be determined in every steps of the way. Okay, so I want just to, hey man, the mic, best chirps. and rattles. So, okay, so they don't sing. I was saying that time that bird sings.
Yes.
So then just remind the mic, so no, bird chirps or the rattle or the whistle, whichever. Thank you. So now, this is it. You must be conscious of your efforts, of your actions and inactions. Be determined by all means. This is a secret. When you fail, they will say, yes, we knew he was going to fail. When you succeed, they will still say, we always know him was going to succeed. Now you see, the world is a variety of things you will never expect to see. Do you know what? You must build up your mind, never to allow the negatives influence you against what God's will has been for you. I read a scripture the other day, and that scripture got to mind about 15 years ago. When I read it with understanding, it blew my mind. Till today, it still makes a lot of sense to me. That's Psalm chapter number 119, verse 48. This was David talking to God. He said, David said, Lord, remember your promises to me, for they give me strength in my affliction. So your words, I'm paraphrasing it, so your words encourages me. Now, this is a man being determined or being given strength by the word of God. So meaning that no matter what he faces, that we read through the scriptures, he was always focusing on what God said beyond the things he saw. My friend, challenges will always come, and most times it will come unpredictably on things you never thought it would. It will come from the known and the unknown. But the major thing is determined. I keep saying this thing. Imagine my sitting here. If I fell today, believe me, it's not just about me and my immediate family. I know there will be thousands and millions of people that God had, make them just for me. If I fell down, God. So I said, no, it's not possible. No matter what is happening, I must always forge ahead. That is my own personal determination. So how about you? Remember, I keep saying every one of us, we are representing a community. You are a global personality. So are you going to make God proud of you? Are you going to be a blessing to people? There are many students or children walking the street. No one to help them. And you know what? If only you were determined to be successful, you'll be shocked that those ones were destined for you. I'm just imagining now building a home for them. And then those ones in the street, you house them. You send them to school. And then you see them becoming some professionals that no one would ever thought of. Right? So that's what determination does. So that's why I keep saying, do not fail. Don't even dream to fail. Determined to succeed. Man of God,
yes, sir.
Let's take our discussion back on, because we're running off in a few minutes, right?
Yes, sir.
Is it very, very important that someone should determine in life? Is it important, or should we just be careless about our lives?
It's very, very important.
Okay.
It's very important for you to be determined in life, because there are things out there that will discourage you, get you discouraged. So I keep telling people that you are your own limitation.
Oh, you are your own limitation.
Nobody can limit you. Nobody has the power to stop what God had ordained you to be, irrespective of, sir. I have some friends who, while growing up, in fact, when they got into the university anyway, and suddenly they first lost the father,
okay,
later lost the mother. But as I'm talking to you, just looking at them, it will get you back on your feet. You yourself, you'll be motivated you'll be challenged, because they have they have, in fact, their life is a message that you're not dependent on, oh, I have my father. There are people like that. They have all manner of excuses to give. Oh, why are you not in school and all of that? There is nothing for you to give as an excuse.
Okay.
Today, I know one who is a medical doctor.
Okay.
The teaching hospital, the sister is a medical lab scientist. Nobody is just they're determined to succeed. So until you are determined, failure will become your second name. So I want to challenge our people, our friends, our loved ones, stop the pity party. So you know there are people like, if you don't call or to like, oh, pity them, they just love to be pitied and not, you know, it won't hurt you. It will hurt you no way.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Soridem. Thanks a million. So he has given us his parting shot that you just let go the pity party, determined to succeed. He now gave an analogy of a friend who's a medical doctor and the sister, a lab scientist. Perhaps maybe their parents were not there to help them into school or through school, but they determined to go. And then maybe they have sold things or selling things to find themselves through school. You know, they did all manner of things. So you have no excuse not to succeed. When you succeed, it becomes a global thing. Our sister, whom we celebrated a few weeks ago, Hilda Bassi, determined to stand and cook, and then she entered the Guinness Book of World Record, right? So you can also determine your own. You might not enter Guinness Book of Record, but the truth is, posterity will always remember you for becoming whom God made you to be, in order to be a blessing to your world. So friend, don't give up easily. Please don't. Your dream is very important. Yes, when you succeed, the whole world will succeed. When you fail, every one of us will fail. No matter what you do, no matter how small or little it is, please keep pushing. Push, and then the sky will just be the beginning point. All right, friend. Thanks a million for watching. Thanks for listening. Pastor Soyedem, I want to thank you a lot for making it to the program today. God bless you. All right, see you at the top. See you at the top. God bless you. Bye.
Coming here every Tuesday gives me great joy, and I want to believe that each time you tune to your television set, you're happy to see us. And for the number of times we've not been on air, I thank God for everyone who reached out to us, and I've always been there asking, when will you be on air? Particularly, I want to thank that my friend for yesterday, telling me that he's so glad to see us back on air. I'm really glad that we have people who are really concerned about our welfare. Thank you so much. And then you know that for this program, all AKBC program, you can join us on Facebook and other social media handles like the YouTube. And to join us on social media like Facebook, you can log on to our Facebook page, which is AKBC Radio and Television. And for YouTube, it's just AKBC Television, and you can follow everything that is done here in the studio. So if you do not even have time to watch the television at home, you are going out your mobile with your mobile handset, then you can log on and still be a part of whatever we are doing. Our duty here is to bring you information. Our duty here is to educate you. Our duty here is also to entertain you as well. And each time we come here, we are always very glad that we are doing just that. My name is Grace Hussein, and I welcome you to this bit of the program. On today's program, I am going to have my guests help us to talk on the need for sustainable family planning and childbirth spacing. And last week, Thursday, 11th July, was celebrated as a Global Population Day. And everything, I think most of the media houses carried or brought you programs that reflected on population, and most of them also talked about family planning. They need to either scale up or bring it down and all that. The need for proper inclusion, especially of data. And I don't know how many of us had things to learn from there. So we are still working on that and still talking about it. But today we are taking a look at the need for sustainable family planning and childbirth spacing. And to help me discuss this morning, I have with me Lovina Ibiok, a health promotion officer with the Akwa Ibom State Primary Health Care. She is a chairman, Akwa Ibom State Social Behavioral Change Communication and Technical Working and technical working group. She is a registered nurse and midwife. She is also a clinical psychologist. I'm glad to welcome her here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you
Good
here.
morning, viewers.
Yes, good morning. Welcome. So I'm answering for them. Okay, yes, we are looking at the need for sustainable family planning and childbirth spacing. I've already talked about the fact that last week was celebrated as Global Population Day. And so I would like us to start off from there. The current state of global population. Don't know if you are conversant with that and if you can fill us in with that.
Okay, yeah. Last week, 11th July was the World Population Day. It is a day that is set aside by the United Nations to highlight issues concerning population growth. And currently, the world population is at 8.1 million. So there's need to bring up conversations. Billion, 8.9 billion. Sorry, I must have said 8.1 billion is what the global population currently is as at 11th July. So there's need to bring up conversations that relate to population growth and how to sustainably manage population growth.
Okay. So I don't know. I would have loved to have the statistics for Akwa Ibom State. Any idea about that?
I'm not really sure of the statistics for Akwa Ibom State.
But are we going higher or we are coming down? Do you even know?
Yeah, we are going. In fact, we are going higher on yearly basis. The population is actually increasing. It doesn't decrease. It actually increases on a yearly basis. So we are going higher.
Okay, let's take a look at the impact of a high population rate on the environment.
Okay, yeah, high population rate on the environment has more of a negative impact on the environment because with high population, there's increased demand for natural resources. The lands are used up maybe for farming or for building. So there's deforestation is on the increase, which affects our environment. And then with high population also there is an increase in waste, waste and pollution, because with a higher population more waste is generated, and then with the burning of fuel for energy, the industrialization, so there's emission of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Recently we've been hearing of climate change, global warming. It's actually as a result of increased population, because more is done because of the need to meet up the demands of the population. So it actually has a negative effect on the environment, because getting resources, like mining, extracting, all of them have negative effect, like what we have in the Niger Delta regions where you have oil spillage. It's actually because we are trying to meet up the needs of the population. That's why we do all those drilling, and then it affects our environment.
Let's also take a look at the effect on development.
Yeah, high population also has an effect on development. It has both positive and negative. I would like to start with the positive, because with a high population we have increased manpower. So and then so we can produce more. You can have people working in the industry, so there's more innovations. And then with the increased population too, when you're trying to meet up needs, it makes you think out of the box. So there's increase in technology. There are more innovations just to meet up the demands of the population. So that's on the positive side. There's increased manpower, industrialization, innovations come up. But on the negative side, with the high population, when there's job opportunities are not there for everyone. You can't employ everybody when the population is much. So there's tendency for crimes in the society. There's tendency for crimes. There's tendency for poverty. Diseases. Overcrowded places. There will be if there's an outbreak of a communicable disease, it will spread fast when they are crowded, in crowded places. So there are also negative impacts on development, especially crimes, when there are no enough employment opportunities. So people will go into crimes.
Okay, let's take a look at the word family planning again. No matter how often we talk about it, I still think that there is need to explain more to people to understand what family planning is and what it is not.
Okay, family planning actually is the ability of an individual or a couple to decide when and how many children they want to have, and then to be able to have it. World Health Organization defines it as the ability of an individual or couple to anticipate and attain their desired number of children and the timing and spacing of their children. So they anticipate the desired number of children they want to have, and then they also determine the spacing and the timing of those children. So that is what family planning is all about, and it involves the use of child spacing methods like pills, condoms, implants, intrauterine devices, and the rest. And it's not just about giving of pills, giving you this method. It involves education and counseling. Before we give you the family planning method, we actually educate you on these methods, the methods that are available, so that by the time you're choosing, you're actually making an informed choice. We tell you about the methods, how this method works, what are the side effects, what should you expect when you take up this method, what should you do if you have issues with this method. So we provide that education and counseling. And there's also the reproductive health, still part of family planning, where we treat sexually transmitted diseases, where we take a holistic look at a woman's reproductive health. And it will interest you to know that family planning is not just about preventing pregnancy. In family planning, we actually help a woman that wants to get pregnancy and is having challenges. We help. That's part of the reproductive health. Okay. We educate her on what to do. Sometimes it could just be that she and her husband misses the timing of coitus. They miss the timing. They don't have coitus when she's ovulating. So by the time we sit down and educate her on ovulation, when she should meet with her husband, before you know it, she takes in. And sometimes it could be that the couple have a sexually transmitted infection. So all we
could
do,
hinder them.
Yes, we could hinder the her having getting pregnant. So by the time we treat the infection, you find out that they get pregnant. So family plan is not just preventing pregnancy. You also help couples to actually get pregnant. And then if we have to refer her to a gynecologist, we also do that. And then
all these are done at the primary health care.
Yes, all these are done there. Yes. So the ones we cannot handle, we refer to a secondary health institution, maybe to a gynecologist. And then while referring her, we also support her through the journey. So we call to follow up how she's doing until she gets her desired results. So family planning is all encompassing. It's comprehensive.
Okay. So let's also talk about educate us more on the childbirth spacing.
Okay, so on the childbirth spacing, it's just to ensure that an individual or the couple have an appropriate spacing for her children. Like the pregnancy doesn't just come accidentally. The pregnancy is planned for. So there are methods for the birth spacing. There are pills that she could be taking every day. There are injectables that she could be taking monthly or twice every 2 months or every 3 months. There are different injections. There's one she takes every 2 months, and there's one she takes every 3 months. And then there are the implants where it is inserted under the arm. There are implants, some that last. Those ones are long-acting contraceptives. So it could last for 3 years, and there's another implant that lasts for about 5 years. We also have the intrauterine devices that could last between 10 and 12 years. So those are the different methods we prevent or space pregnancies.
Okay. So if I want to have like 10 children and I come to the primary health care, you can help me to advise me on what to do in spacing those 10 children?
Yeah, if your desire, because the definition of family planning says your ability to anticipate and attain your desired number of children. So if your desire is 10 children, and then we assess you and we see that you are capable of taking care of these 10 children, all we'll do is to help you, counsel you on the spacing of these children, so that you have time to rest them well, so that also you recover from the previous pregnancies. Because one of the issues with complications of pregnancy is when your body has not recovered from the previous pregnancy. The uterus is not strong enough to take in another pregnancy. So during childbirth, you find out that the uterus cannot contract enough to stop the bleeding. So that's why we sometimes have postpartum hemorrhage. That's excessive bleeding during pregnancy, after birth, because the uterus is not strong enough to contract and to stop the bleeding. But if you had rested enough for your uterus to really recover from the previous pregnancy, you won't have those kind of issues. So what we do is to counsel you on, enough time to recover before the next pregnancy, and then counsel you on, be sure that you are able to rest 10 children, so that you don't leave them without proper training, and they don't leave them without feeding them well.
Okay, I understand. Okay, at least you should be capable.
Yes, you should.
Taking care of the number of children
you want. Yes.
Okay. Yes, you are a nurse, and I know that you work in one of the primary healthcare centers, and I know you've been around several centers in the state.
Yes.
I'd like you to talk about family planning programs in the state, Akwa Ibom State. How is it? How is it at the primary healthcare centers? How can you give us at least a fair knowledge of how it is?
Okay, yeah, family planning program in the state, we are making progress. We are trying to see how we can make it comprehensive enough and sustainable. We are making progress, but we find out that most of the interventions, family planning interventions in the state, are partner driven. They are donor driven. So the aspect of sustainability is not really there, because these partners, they won't stay forever. At a point they will have to leave. So when they leave, there's bound to be gaps, because our government has not yet taken ownership of the interventions they are doing. But if our government takes ownership and leadership of the interventions that the partners are providing right now, there will be that sustainability. We are making progress, in the family planning in the state, but we need the state to take ownership, because it is actually the partners that fund family planning programs.
When you say they fund, like what do they really do?
Yeah, like if you look at a partner like the Challenge Initiative, TCI, they are implementing a model that they call business unusual model of family planning in the state. So they are demonstrating the using a high impact interventions in the state. By high impact intervention, you mean those interventions that give the highest results. So that is what they are doing in 10 local governments.
Can you give us an example?
Okay, the example of the high impact interventions, we have like the Enriches, where they set a certain day apart for mothers to come to the facility and get family planning free. Family planning is actually supposed to be free, but it is not yet free. We'll talk about that. So on an Enrich day, the TCI set apart this day for women to come in and get the services free. And it will amaze you the number of women that come in to get these services. You see that they actually needed this service, but because of the cost attached, they didn't come in to take the service, because the service had always been there at the facility, but they don't come out. So the day they announce Enrich free service, you see them come out. So that's one of the interventions. And then we also have the outreach, where we go to the community, not in the facility. Now we go out to the community, we announce they should come out for family planning services for free too, and you see the amount of women coming out because it's free. So there's also what TCI calls whole site orientation, where every person that works in the facility is given and orientation and family planning. You know, in the communities, anybody that works, any man that works in the health facility is a doctor. Any woman that works at the health facility is a nurse. So what TCI does is to orientate everyone on family planning, so that it won't even be that it is a security man that stops a woman from getting family planning. Like maybe a woman comes in and she doesn't even know where to go to see the security man and ask, oh, where can I get a family planning service, and the security man would discourage or doesn't even know the unit. So they orientate everyone working at the facility about family planning. What they do is talk about the myths and misconceptions, so that the person, the cleaner in the facility, it won't even be the one promoting myths, because there are a lot of myths and misconceptions. So that the cleaner won't tell a woman, what are you coming here to do? Did your mother give birth to only a man? Did your mother give birth to only you? Why should you come and do family planning? So we educate them, you orientate them on the need for family planning, the myths and misconceptions, so that when somebody comes, they will be the one to encourage the person and then direct the person to the appropriate quarter. This also yields a lot of good results. So those are some of the interventions that TCI does. But they do this in only 10 of the 31 local governments in Akwa Ibom State.
So what about the remaining ones?
So it is expected that the state government should scale up to the remaining 21 local government area if the program will be sustained. It is expected that the state government should replicate what they are doing in this 10 local government to the remaining local government. So that's why we are saying we are making progress.
But should they want to replicate this, what is needed? Do you know?
Yeah, should they want to replicate this, what is needed is funding. Because when we say family planning is free, it's not that it is absolutely free. Somebody is paying for it. So the partners are paying for the consumables, particularly the partners are paying for the mobilization, the partners are paying for the supervision, the partners are paying for the transportation. So there are a lot of things that they pay for. So should government want to replicate, is also to release funding into family planning, so that these things can also be paid for, so that when we say family planning is free, it can be absolutely free. So that is what is expected. There's actually a budget line for family planning in the state, so it's expected that the budget line should be increased and then institutionalized. And then there had already been a quantification of family planning estimate in the state. So we expect
so it's there in the budget.
Yeah, it's there. So we expect that the state releases money into the basket fund for the procurement of commodities and consumables, so that family planning can actually be free.
Okay, maybe so, before you go, you will still enlighten the people about the consumables and the commodities again. I know that you are a scholar, and I know that you know what the universal standard is, and even the national standard for family planning is. Do you think that these partners working in the state have been able to meet those specifications or those standards?
Okay, yeah, the universal standard for family planning is basically that it should be comprehensive and it should be sustainable. So the partners that are working in the state, they are trying to ensure that, especially the comprehensiveness of the family planning, because for the sustainability, it has to be a joint approach. It is not only the partner that will make family planning in the state sustainable, but it has to be a joint approach, both government and partners, before it is sustainable. So for comprehensiveness, yes, family planning is comprehensive in the facilities that partners are supporting. Like I had mentioned, there's the bed spacing, where several methods are used for either to space pregnancy or to prevent pregnancy, and then even to help a woman get pregnant. So there's the health education and counseling. That's still part of the comprehensiveness of family planning, where a woman is educated on the methods of family planning. There's the aspect of cultural sensitivity, where we make sure that the services we render agree to the norms and of the society, so that it is acceptable. There's also the aspect of informed consent, where a woman is educated and then she decides voluntarily to take up a method, not that she is coerced into it. So those are the comprehensiveness aspect of family planning, and that is actually, there's also the reproductive health aspect, where we even do adolescent reproductive health. We teach them about reproductive health. But for the sustainability, it will take the government to scale up what the partners are doing before we can say the efforts of the partners are sustainable. So meeting the global standard of comprehensiveness and sustainability, comprehensiveness, yes, to some degree in the facilities that are supported by partners, but sustainability, we are not yet there. The government has to work with the partners to make sure these interventions are sustained in the state.
Okay, let's take a typical look at those local government that these intervention programs are not there. What's the state there? Does it mean that people can't even go there to access family planning, or in those facilities there is absolutely nothing about family planning?
No, there's still family planning in those facilities, but the results are different. If you want to compare the data, the number of people that take up family planning in the local governments that their partners are supporting, you find out that the data, they say a huge difference. So family planning is there in all those other local governments and in the facilities, but what happens is they will have to pay a token, because where the consumables are not there, the providers will demand a token to be able to purchase the consumable. And then sometimes there may be no trained provider for certain methods, because there are some certain methods that are invasive, like the implants, like the IUD. It needs specialized training. So most of the training on family planning are done by partners. So in those places that the partners are not there, it simply means those people are not trained on those long-acting contraceptive methods. So you find out that they may not provide those methods. They may provide the pills, the injectables, but they may not provide the other methods that need specialized training. So that's the difference. First, the data is different. You have more people taking up family planning in these other places, because for number one, there's a high degree of mobilization. People going into the community and talking to women about the need to take up family planning methods. But in those other local governments and facilities, there's no such thing. There's no mobilization. So the number of people taking up family planning is not as much as what you would have in the facilities that have the support of partners. So that's the main difference.
Okay. Yes, friend, if you have been watching us, this is Heartbeat on AKBC, and this morning we are taking a look at the need to sustain family planning and childbirth spacing. And looking at it, we are also trying to help you to understand more about family planning and childbirth spacing. With me in the house is Lovina Ibiog, a health promotion officer, a nurse, and a clinical psychologist who is helping us who is educating us more on this issue. And then again, I want to ask you, in what areas, or what are the areas you as a person feel there is need for strengthening in the healthcare facilities and maybe in our communities?
Okay, yeah. Where we need strengthening, especially when it has to do with family planning, is actually, it's all about funding. It's all about funding for family planning. To strengthen family planning, we need funds for commodities to be always available, for consumables to be always available, and then for training of providers, because providers need to be trained. A lot of nurses are retiring, so new ones need to be retrained to take over with the positions they are leaving. So it all boils down to funding. To strengthen family planning, we will recommend that the states, release budgets, prompt release of funds for family planning. There's actually a budget line for family planning in the state, and we recommend the release of that fund for the procurement of commodities and consumables, so that family planning can actually be free, and then so that it could also be sustained. Not that a woman takes up from a method today, there are some women that are done with their the number of children they want, and they still have a whole wide reproductive years. Maybe at 30 she's already had the number of children she wants, so she still
They
has
want as a family.
Yes, they want as a family. And then she still has like 20 years before she reaches menopause. So she will need to keep taking family planning method for these years before she reaches menopause. So there's need to sustain family planning, so that at any point 10 years down the line she's still able to assess whatever method she was taking. Not that she goes 10 years down the line, they say the method is not available, or there's no provider because this person had retired, another person had not been trained,
because these partners
have gone, so
disengaged.
So we need government to take leadership and ownership of family planning interventions in the state, so that it becomes our own, not just about partners, so that we can conveniently and comfortably sustain family planning in the long run, because it's all about sustainability.
Okay, I'd like you to share some cases, some stories with us. You've been at healthcare facilities for a while now, and you have met with cases. You have seen cases, both good ones and bad ones. I'd like you to share good and bad situations that can help us project exactly what we are talking about. Should somebody get family planning, or should somebody not get family planning? What are cases that can really project or portray them?
Okay, yeah. With this, with what TCI is doing in the state, that
you keep mentioning only TCI. Is it only TCI that is working in the state, or do you have any other?
There are other partners.
Okay,
like
can you mention? Is there any?
Like the Maristopes International.
What do they do? They also provide consumables?
Yes, they support family planning in the state.
Okay.
So,
what of Development Communication Agency? What do they do? Or network? Development Communication
really
Network.
Much about that.
Okay, let's just go on.
Okay, so when like I said, some people have problem, but because of maybe costs, they don't go to seek help. So there are a lot of women there in the communities that they know they need family planning, but because of the little fee they have to pay, they do not go.
So I wanted you to share story.
Yeah, I'm going to share.
Okay.
So when it is announced that the family planning is going to be free, you see them come out. Just recently, a woman came out in Uyo, 29-year-old. She already had 7 children.
29?
29, and she already had 7 children.
She's married?
She's married.
And the husband is alive?
Yes.
Okay.
So she already had 7 children. She knew she needed family planning, but she couldn't access it because she couldn't afford it. Not that the money is much, but the situation now. So maybe she's trying to, provide food for the family. So she's prioritizing the little money she has. So when she came, we were amazed to see that at her age, she already has 7. No, so if you allow her till menopause, should have gotten up to 20. Should have gotten up to 20. Okay. So, when she came, we counseled her, and then a family planning method was
the husband
provided.
In support? Did the husband come with her?
Yes, no, he didn't come with her, but he was in support from what we learned from her. It was actually money that kept her from. She actually needed to do family planning. Looking at the economic situation now, they knew that they need to do family planning, but so this opportunity for free family planning now brought her, and then she was provided family planning method. So that will help her and her family. And there are cases like that. There are plenty of them. There are women that have, even in this Akwa Ibom, there are women that have up to 10 children, young women, 10 children, 13 children, young women. So there are cases like that, but because of these programs, we are able to bring them out and offer family planning, and then to support them all through, counsel them all through. So that's one of the
The
one
good,
of
the
yes,
good side of it.
that's one of the good side of it.
Okay, now use the 13, maybe a lady that has about 13 children, maybe that is like under 30 years.
Yes.
Use it to drive home the point about childbirth space.
Okay, yeah. So for a lady that she's under 30 and she already has up to 13 children, you know, with the economic situation now, it is difficult. It is difficult, and you find out that most of those ladies are struggling. It's not like they are really doing anything economically, strong. So they are struggling, but they are there giving birth every year. So there's need to, embrace family planning to, space, not just to space. After having 13, you don't even need spacing again. You need to put a final full stop. It's the caterpillar break. So you need to put a full stop. So there's need for family planning, because those women, they are so fortunate that they are still alive, because most of the complications of childbirth come from frequent pregnancies without recovering from the previous ones. So it's fortunate, they are fortunate that they are still alive. So for the fact that they are still alive, it's good to embrace family planning, so that you have time to recover, to build yourself. So family planning is actually a low-hanging fruit in the state's effort to control maternal and child morbidity and mortality, because then the woman can recover from the previous pregnancy, because then most of the complications of pregnancy would have been avoided, because then the woman will be able to raise her children well. If she feeds them well, if she has the ability, because she has a time to maybe develop herself, she has time to start maybe a small business, she'll be able to raise the children well, feed them, and they are healthy. So most of the childhood illnesses would have been averted. So family planning is really necessary, especially at this time in our economy. People need to plan. How many children can we really cater for? How many children can we really raise?
Okay.
Well,
before you go, I'd like you to share your story with us, your family planning story with us. How many children you have, why you and when. I don't know, just share that story as brief as possible.
Okay, yeah. I have 4 children. I have been on, my last child is 17 years, so that means I had been on family planning on the past 17 years.
17 years now?
Yes.
Please, what method are you using? Is that a private question?
Yeah, I think that's private.
Okay,
but I'm
okay.
using a long-acting method.
Okay.
Yes, I'm using a long-acting method. There had been some misconceptions, about family planning, that it does this. If you look at me, I'm very healthy. I don't have issues, but I'm on family planning. I've not
For
yet
17 years
yes, I've
now.
not yet reached menopause. So for the remaining years before menopause, I'll still be on family planning, and I don't have issues. So I want you to debunk all those misconceptions that family planning will make you too fat. The size I am is what my husband wants.
And what about you?
Yes, it's also what I want. So it will make you add weight. It will also make you lose weight. It will they say it causes heat. It will make you have they say internal heat. It's not family plan. If you have internal heat, it may be that you have an infection. So you treat the infection. It's not, you don't.
So I always like to ask,
family
was your husband in support, or did you sneak to do it?
No, he was in support. We agreed together. So
Okay.
yeah, he was in support.
So what that means is that if you want to have a child now, you can discontinue and still have a child?
Yes, that's the beautiful thing about the modern contraceptive method. By the time you stop the method, your next ovulation, you get pregnant. Even if you stop the method today and your next ovulation is next week, by next week you're already pregnant. That's the beautiful thing about the modern contraceptive method. So
Okay.
women should entertain that fear that it will stop them from having pregnancies.
Okay, lastly, sustaining family planning in the States, and in fact, childbirth spacing has been our issue, our focus today. So what will be like, I would say, your parting shot for the government and even the people of Akwa Ibom State, even the partners? Please briefly just tell us.
Okay, yeah, for family planning to be sustained in the state, like I kept saying, it's not just a one-sided affair. It has to be a cooperation between the partners and government. Partners are already doing their bid, so we implore the government to also do their bit. And good enough, we have a governor now that is very responsive to the plight of Akwa Ibom people, and is very interested in health. You can see the number of health facilities springing forth everywhere. Even this on our Barras Street, we see it now. It's state of the art.
Wow.
So we have a governor that is very responsive to health. So what we need the governor to do is to ensure that budget for family planning is released, because that is where the sustainability is. The budgets are released so that consumables and commodities are procured on time, and then they are distributed, and so that providers can also be trained, because most of the providers, some of them are retiring. So
very importantly about the cost.
Okay, the cost.
I keep hearing women say when they go, we keep saying that it is free, family planning is free, but people get there and they are asked to pay money. So
family planning is actually supposed to be free, but they are not yet free, and we cannot blame the providers for that, because most of the family planning methods are invasive. That is, it involves getting contact with blood, so you have to ensure that the procedure is sterile. You have to ensure
this thing should be
things should be available
so that
for
it will be free.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Lovina Ibill. It's been nice having you here with us this Tuesday morning. We hope to have you back soon. Our friend is being Heartbeat and Middle Pages. Today we have been talking on the need for sustainable family planning and childbirth spacing. I hope you have learned either a thing or two from our discussion this morning. I hope to see you next week by the grace of God. My name is Grace Hussein. Thank you so much for spending your Tuesday morning with us. But don't go anywhere. Heartbeat continues. Carol will be here to bring you highlights.
I need the police that can respond to emergencies first.
I want the equipment I need to do my job.
I want a police that won't harass or arrest me for no just reason.
I want to be valued for my work, not feared by honest people.
I want a police that won't ask me anything for the boys.
I want a decent salary that is paid on time.
If it happen, with good laws,
Proper funding,
Training.
And cooperation.
if it happen,
If it happen.
How perceptive are you about life, your life, and that of the people around you? Do you often wonder why people behave or react the manner they do? Watch Your Image on AKBC Channel 45 every Wednesday at 7 p.m. and get to learn more about the internal messages that people communicate externally or fail to communicate concerning their attitudes and behaviors, as well as how these affect the growth and well-being of individuals, organizations, and the society at large. Your Image, a 30-minute must-watch program with segmented perspectives on everyday life issues. Your Image. Get informed and be inspired for a balanced outlook on life. Your Image, a mirror of oneself.
The program don't come on. Kulele. The Ogbongo program where they touch all the Setram people. Kulele don't show for TV.
At tún ti dé o kúlẹ̀lẹ̀ lélẹ́yìí a máa jáde lórí afẹ́fẹ́ ẹ má kúrò ń bẹ̀ o ẹ ṣáà máa wò wá lọ kúlẹ̀lẹ̀ lélẹ́yìí.
Kulele abịakwana ọzọ na telivishọn kịta na unu ga na-ahụ anyị na telivishọn anyị ga na-enwe aṅụrị anyị ga na-emeri kpọrịkpọ na telivishọn.
Wallahi tallahi kulele ga guma mun gina television. Wallahi kulele da guna mun gina a television this time.
Make una watch Kulele, the Ogbonge Swagalicious Entertainment TV show for AKBC TV channel 45 Saturday 7 p.m. Bonquem Go Reach 7:30 p.m.
The program don't come on.
This is a home where we all belong. The place where life is beautiful. The peaceful ambience we enjoy when we live together in unity and love. It's all a man and you know. We go stand together, we go make them better. We be brothers and sisters, no matter where we be.
Okay, it's nice to know you're still with us on the show Heartbeat AM 45. And right this moment, we have another segment for you, and this is our highlight on Heartbeats this morning. What we have for you is looking at our theatrical performance stroke production series on this program. So today, our interest is on movement quality in dance. You know a lot about dance, and I'm sure you're one that has fun with it when it comes to dancing steps. So there's something more that you can still learn, so that's why we're bringing you this movement quality in dance performance. So stay with us. On this show this morning, which is my resource person, is Mr. Akaninyene Umo, also known as AK Africana, and that is what we need to we'll have to talk about that after. Okay, so he is a graduate of theater art, currently art and communication tutor, Fortune Group of Schools. You're welcome to the show once again, Mr.
Thank you so much.
So good to have you.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure here.
It's all right. Okay, like I said before, we move into the main series of this presentation this morning. So I'd like to know the AK Africana. What's the connotation and what inspired the name?
Okay, I think I was even named by my friends, but AK, it's from my name, Akaniana. So the AK from Akaniana, and then Africana. I'm just a lover of African art, so my clothing, my kind of music, my kind of arts are just African art. So they just named it AK Africana.
All right, and today our focus is on movement quality in dance. We know about dance, we know about movements, we can move from one point to the other, one area to another. But when it has to do with theatrical performance and we call it movement quality in dance, what does it really refer to?
Movement quality in dance really simplified talks about how a dance performer responds to dance in time and space. What is the thing that you are seeing and experiencing as a dancer? Now, the people watching may not know what is going on, but you as a dancer, you know. So you would ask a theater attendee what happened on stage, and the person will say, oh, they were dancing. But if you ask the dancer what happened on stage, the dancer will be able to explain what was happening to their body. So there are movements where you call them collapsed movement. There are some movements that are vibratory. There are some movements that are flat. So yeah, so those are qualities of movement in dance.
Okay, let's look at the key elements that contribute to this movement quality.
So you're looking at the dancer's body, which is the key element in communication. You're looking at the space. A dancer must have a good space. Yes. You're looking at especially for these, like what you're seeing on screen, these are a duo performance. So there is the lead and then there's a follower. So you're looking at their time and you're looking at music as well. So those are some key elements in dance. So the dancer's body, the dancer's space, the music, and the time constitutes as key elements.
Okay, now let's look at how a dancer can understand this movement when it comes to its techniques and artistry.
Now, when, like we said, this is theater performance. So it's not like the dance you do in church on Sunday, where you're not being graded and then you're doing to God. But in theater performance, you are communicating. The aspect of dance, or anything that has to do with performance, is the aspect of communication. So you must understand, what do I want to say, and how do I want to say it, and how am I going to position my body to be able to tell the story so that the audience can understand.
Okay, now let's relate it to the audience. How does movement quality relate to the dancer's connection when it has to do with audience and the performance piece?
How the performer, the dance performer, relates to the audience. And if you're watching a theater performance, one of the things that helps you to identify or connect with the dancer is the fact that you can understand some movements of the dancer. There are some dances, we call them improvised choreographers, or the contemporary choreographers. So there's now a fusion of our modern day-to-day dance with theater performances. So you get to a theater, the actors are dancing, and they're dancing something that is quite current, what we see every day on the street. The audience connects, oh, we know this dance. And there's some sort of, if you have a very active audience, there are some audience members that will stand up and want to mimic too. So there's always the shout, and then the movement resonates with them. Oh, that we know what these movements connotes, and so they can relate to it. And so they also see, now what plays in the mind of the audience is, this is our dance on stage, meaning we are seen, we are heard. So these are the things we do on the street. So for it to have a replication on stage means that these artists, they see us. And that's how they connect. When it comes to the performance piece, it is the fact that the dancer must understand the space he or she has been given, and how can you relate with that space. There are some dances that will demand you dance on the spot, but there are some that will take you through the space that you have been given to dance. So how are you able to relate with this space and bring this space in? So if this is our space for performance, and then we have just this at the center, the audience would see that the other spaces are empty. But if you play with this to this point, you play with this, I hope I don't spill my water, and then you play around, the audience sees how small the space is because the performer has been able to take all of the space together. So that's how you relate with your performance space.
Interesting. Now, talk about precision when it comes to technical precision and music, because a dancer dances to a tune.
Yes, definitely. There's something you're dancing
So how
to.
do they develop this musicality when it comes to movement quality?
Well, I hope I don't sound very strange. Sometimes the audience may not hear the sound. It's not spiritual, but it's you have the beatings in your heart. So sometimes we call it mime. All right, so and then you want to leave the audience in some sort of suspense as well. What is happening? Where is he hearing the sound from? And then he's moving so coordinatedly. But sometimes it's something you can hear as well. Now, music is produced in time. And so the dancer must understand the timing in that music and interpret it. So when we talk about musicality, we are basically talking about how is the dancer hearing the music? And how is he or she going to interpret that music and time
to apply it to
yes,
a dance?
Yes, a dance, and then to appeal to the audience.
To the audience. Anyway, well, you see some dance tips and kind of funny, not really resonating.
Yeah, resonate with the music. Yeah. So sometimes it's done to contradict the timing.
Okay.
Like we have a Westerners. Like if you have a Western person come to dance, we usually say they dance off beat. You know, that's what we describe. But sometimes that is just what we want, because we want to see that contradiction. Sometimes we want to create a scene of confusion. So acting outside of the beat, because you're like, can you concentrate? You know, you're doing something to your head, but that is what we want to achieve.
Okay.
So it's still very much in time.
All right, for those who may really want to improve, I'm sure there are some practices or exercises that can be employed for this movement quality to actually come out. Can you, in a way, demonstrate while seated?
Now, dance is one of the theatrical performances that demands all of your body. All of your body. So you're going to do exercises that will enhance all of your body. You're going to stretch, you will need to squat, you will need to do plank. Like our dance, I don't have much space. You know, it's the waist dance, yes. So you have to bend. So you have to do exercises that takes you down and up to sustain your waist while you're dancing. And then there is a point where you're flipping your head. So if your neck is not relaxed, you may sustain injury while so you may sustain injury while doing that, or you may get a sprain, and that could be very dangerous to your health. So exercises that covers from your head to your toe is what is advised. So you're not just exercising one part of your body, but all of your body, because our dance is quite it compasses all of your body while you're performing. There's no one part of your body that is left out. Your legs, your hands, your head, your body, your waist, everything just goes into it.
Okay, we know there are different dance steps and different types of dance, but let's look at how movement quality vary across different dance styles. Like you have the ballet, you have the contemporary, and the hip hop. Let's look at how they vary.
The beautiful thing is that dance is dance. We just have different forms. And these different forms is just an emphasis on certain aspects of the body. So the movement quality is still the same. So there's still the collapsed, there's still the vibratory. So they all play the same, just that you have different forms. And then the dances appeal to different parts of the body. If you're looking at a ballet, it's more of stretches. It's more of stretches and turns. Body is still the way it is, looks stiff. That's what a layman will explain it to be. There's just the swinging of legs and hands and turns, but all of the qualities are the same, and the forms of dance emphasizes about certain parts of the body. African dance is more of all of you. There's some Western dance that just needs your hands and your legs and your toes, and then you're just swinging, and then you're vibrating, and then just turning around. But they share the same quality. That's the beautiful thing about dance.
Well,
so whether it's foreign or African, it's the same.
Yes, how does dance impact our life, everyday life, as we are?
Dance is one means through which we let out steam. It helps to relax. It's one of the fondest things we can connect to when we want to feel ourselves. So dance is quite very ageless. It helps you connect to your root. It helps in relaxing and letting off steam. And so what we do in every day, so now it looks like entertainment has all of the space, because that is where people want to come and live. So it's more like home. So this is where people are having their real authentic self in it. So that's how dance impacts. Whether you are the dancer or you're the one watching, you feel some sort of energy within you. If you're tired and then you get to see a dance, you get a little bit energized. Because in your mind you're dancing. So you're just seeing the person, and then in your heart you're like
you're enjoying
and,
it.
And there are people who are best dancers when they sit, you know.
They sit okay. So that when they stand it becomes
no, when they stand it's a problem. So when they sit they are best dancers. But again you just have that at the back of your mind that you can
okay,
do this thing.
That takes me to my next question, which is, you see everybody can dance.
Everybody.
Yes, and
everybody's a dancer.
Yes, everybody. Of course, when you just turn, you're dancing.
You're dancing.
But
just
and
movements.
it's also easier to teach. I know you're a lecturer to teach students steps of dancing.
It is.
But let's differentiate between a good dancer and a great one.
Okay, so everyone is a good dancer. Everyone is a good dancer, but when you begin to understand your body, which is your tool, and how far that body can go in time and in space, we can say you're a great dancer. And when we now say you're a great dancer, is the fact that you can get into a space, listen to a music, and create something that resonates with that music. So a good dancer, you could say you are good with Akwa Ibom dance. You may not be good with another form of dance. But a great dancer embodies a whole lot of this. So he's not just a good African dancer, he knows how to move to Western beats too. So, but again, it has to do with improvement. Again, majorly understanding your body and what your body can do. Because this is more like the only tool the dancer has, the dancer's body.
The dancer's body.
Yes.
Okay, so what should be done, maybe by the teachers, by the dancers themselves, or choreographers? What should they do to actually bring this to bear?
One, it's also the willingness of the dancer to stretch the body. Now, the human body can do a whole lot, just like the human mind or brain can do a lot, but you just have to subject it to tutelage. So I know one of the things we did when we got into school in theater practice was the fact that one time we were brought to stage and one of our lecturers said, you will sing and you will dance at the same time. So you're the one singing, you're the one dancing. So at a point, some persons fell on the stage because they couldn't control their breath anymore. So yeah, so you have to know how to build energy from within. You're singing, you're dancing. So there are lots of exercising. Breathing exercises can help you with your lungs. So you can sing, you can sustain your energy, and you can dance at the same time. So it's willingness on the dancer, and then how accommodating and patient your choreographer can be with you.
I'm sure this is also important. Let's look at it. The aesthetics and emotional impact of a dance performance. How does this impact the movement quality?
Aesthetics, which talks about beauty.
Yes,
yeah,
beauty.
The beauty aspect.
And then the emotional aspect.
Dance is beautiful. Dance is beautiful in every aspect. Even when you're trying to portray something bad, dance is beautiful, and then emotions as well. There are dances where you express or kind of evoke some sort of emotions, either from the dancer, or of course it has to start with you as a dancer. So it evokes an emotion that helps you interpret whatever you're doing with your audience, and the way it evokes from you relates to the audience. Now there's how you get carried. I don't know how to put it. Like, you dance and the movement just finds an expression within you that you're not uncontrollable, but you feel yourself one with the dance, and so you're quite very excited to a point where it's not just a performance, but this is you, and your audience can tell by the expressions on your face and how your body moves, and they feel that same joy too. And so you would go to a performance and everybody just has a way of pointing to a particular dancer in a group of dancers. That's because this person's emotions and body aesthetics really resonated with the people. This person was seen, and so everybody just has a way of paying attention to this person and see how the person is doing the moves. So yes.
Okay, still on the dance. How can we use it to tell a story? I know some dance steps, they actually, even when you're not hearing the music or what they're talking about, they use it, there's a way they use it to tell a particular, and even you, the audience, can actually convey.
It's a convey what message they're sending.
They are sending.
So one of the easiest dance that still comes to mind is one of the one lecturer called the farmers dance. So we have it's a dance for men and women. So we see the men coming. They are the ones clearing the grass. So you have movements like here, you know, that's you're cutting the grass, and then we now have the women coming, more like they're the ones packing. So take up. That's the pack, and then they throw. Take up, pack, and throw. So to the left and to the right. And that's almost the same movement we have in today. So everybody sways this way and this way. And then we also have the men now coming, and then you're using your leg to bore holes. Sorry, I don't know if they can see my legs, but if you can't see, so you use your heel to bore holes, and then you pick, and then you drop, and you move to the next site. So anyone seeing that will know, okay, these are farmers. These are farmers. And you know what they're doing. It's the planting season, so they've cut the grass, they've cleaned it up, and now they are now dropping their seed. It is easy to tell stories with dance. It's just to understand what do I want to say, and how can my body, how do I position my body to say it to the audience in the best possible way. And of course you have to know your location, because there are certain things that that may not apply to certain people in certain regions. We are mostly an agricultural based people, so we will understand farming. But there are some locations where you go to, they may not understand that because their foods are organically produced.
So you need
or generated. Yeah, so you have to understand understand your location and know how to communicate with these people.
Communicate to them as well.
Yes.
Okay. On developing a continuity in dance and what they call the flute in dance movements. So what tips would you like to share?
Continue exercising. Continued exercising. Continued exercising will help in continuity and fluidity in dance, because this is what you have, so you just have to keep doing it. If you've been out of that space in a while, in a while, when you're coming back, you just have to play back with your body. Get back, exercise, bring your body to what you want to do, and then you go with it. And then of course you have to have lots of, more like you have a library that contains books. We also have a dance library. So you should be able to look at have a collection of dancers and see what they're doing, and then you can pick. And I think that's where the work of a choreographer comes in, where you can pick certain movements and then string them together to form a dance. So you have to, as a dancer, you should have a dance library. Different genres of dance, African, salsa, and ballet, all of it. You should have that. So it helps in continuity and fluidity, in creating.
Okay. Apart from that, okay, before you go, I'd like you, because maybe there's something I have not really touched, which you need to tell your audience. Okay, I'd like you to give your advice, especially for the young ones, the young dancers coming up and trying to improve their dance steps and other overall dynamics when it comes to dance.
Dance, like every other art, it's something that can be improved upon. So as a dancer, well, you want to tell if you want to get into this professionally or not. So if you're going to get into this professionally, you have to know that you have to go for practice, and then get a good choreographer, and then walk the steps. But if it's something you're just doing for fun, you should also be able to know to the extent your body can take you, so that you don't sustain injury. Overall, I would say everyone should dance as a form of exercise to help you stay fit. For those people, for some persons who can go to the gym, you can do a dance exercise. it's a combination of dance and exercise. So if you use that to work on your body, it's a good way to relax, and you will not regret it. So have a good music and then play with your body. You're good.
Have a good music and play with your
good
body.
Music, good
yes,
music. Yes.
Okay. At this point, I really appreciate your time with us.
Thank
Mr.
you so much.
Akane and Omo for
Thank
coming
you so much.
to the studio
always a
and
delight.
sharing your thoughts with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you once again.
Thank you.
All right, friend. It's been highlight on Heartbeat, and this has been our episode on dancing and dance. Everything that you can talk about dance. I'm sure you got one or two things when it comes to the presentation we made to you. You can go for tutorials if you want to improve your dance steps, and you can do more. You can also practice on your own. Remember, you can do that just for the right occasions and for just catching fun around your house or appealing to yourself, just getting that excitement when it comes to dancing. This is where we wrap it up on Highlight Heartbeat this moment. Thank you for staying with us till this time. Don't go away, Heartbeat continues.
This is a home where we all belong. The place where life is beautiful. The peaceful ambience we enjoy when we live together in unity and love. It's a man and you know, we go stand together, we go make them better. We be brothers and sisters, no matter where we be.
I need the police that can respond to emergencies first.
I want the equipment I need to do my job.
I want a police that won't harass or arrest me for no just reason.
I want to be valued for my work, not feared by honest people.
I want a police that won't ask me anything for the boys.
I want a decent salary that is paid on time.
If it happen with good laws,
Proper funding,
training,
and cooperation.
if it happen,
If it happen.
How perceptive are you about life, your life, and that of the people around you? Do you often wonder why people behave or react the manner they do? Watch Your Image on AKBC Channel 45 every Wednesday at 7 p.m. and get to learn more about the internal messages that people communicate externally or fail to communicate concerning their attitudes and behaviors, as well as how these affect the growth and well-being of individuals, organizations, and the society at large. Your Image, a 30-minute must-watch program with segmented perspectives on everyday life issues. Your Image. Get informed and be inspired for a balanced outlook on life. Your Image.
Okay, good morning to you. Right now is the president of the Field Marshal of Comedy and the Paramount of Comedy in Nigeria. Kam Koda is my name. I'm not alone in the studio. I'm with a guy that is very loaded, very reliable and capable to make you laugh this morning. He's not a person that MC, comedian, Young Planet. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Akwaibom. Thank you, Nigeria. Thank you, everybody. I'm super excited to be here today. I think it has been a very long time we don't come on air. And today, where we don't come, we go make you laugh. Just sit tight. We there now. You know as the matter they be now.
You know they long. We still there. We still on.
We there.
We still there. Okay, quickly. You know, before I let Planet enter the matter, you know, I want to tell you things that there are some things you have that can be an advantage, and there are things you have that can be a disadvantage, especially as a woman. You know, as a woman, if you get sweet voice past man, it is an advantage. Man go love. Every man will love in wife, in woman, to get sweet voice pass up. As a woman, it is normal, and every man too will like making wife, in woman, find pass up. But you see one thing, in fact, as a woman, every man, it is normal, safe, for a woman to cook better than a man. No man, it's a very few men if you come boast, say if you cook past women, me I don't fit try that kind of boasting. Women, they always there on top for that one. But you see one thing as a woman, where we say when you get that thing past man, it is there at disadvantage. Now to get physical strength past man. You know, the other day I just did gist with one girl. I come to ask am about her sibling. She come to tell me say, then they will say there be 7 boys, now she be the only girl. I say okay, fantastic. As we just the gist they go, play, the girl come tell me say don't mind my status though. You know, I used to beat my brothers. I can't say you they beat your brother. I say so when I hear I used to beat my brother, I can't say maybe that small brothers when they beat. I can't take curious. I say okay, let me see their pictures. The girl come they show me FT boys pictures for phone. I say you beat them. He say yes. The other day if you see the style I used to beat my brother, as the girl talk to me finish, now me do cross. So as a woman, don't even try to boast. Tell another man say you they beat men. You don't already the red flag man don't run. Because if you hear say he they beat the brother, there is every tendency say the day you misbehave. Plaza. I am telling you it's a serious matter, Planet.
Based on woman matter, they always advise some people. When you see woman could come tell you for you here. If you meet woman, the next thing when she go tell you, my brother, I see as you are seeing me like this. You are seeing me like this. Say yes. What I'm thinking is bigger than what you are thinking. Me, I'm having this thought that I'm supposed to be driving Bugatti now. My sister, how far now? But when we just the trek, where we say road not too plenty for this country. We supposed the trek small. And say you want ride for Bugatti. Calm down. And another thing why I want to tell some people. All this one why they hear people go say trauma Davido wedding was Some people don't get patient too. Make I tell you one of the good parts for that. The one where me take. I know they admire all those things where they spray money and all those things. I know they admire them. But I want to tell, especially with your girl, something. You see as this country they like this. Davido promised trauma for you to know say something still they at. Even inside people will be billionaire. Davido promised trauma assurance 2019. How many years be that? Which year in take check am no be about 4 years ago in check am before now. Comes you promise am assurance for 2019, that is 8 years. Then comes you marry am for 2014, 2024. That is complete. If you want calculate the movement, you don't reach 12 years. If you want make that kind of marriage partake between me and you, you go wait for 12 years. That is how things is being done. Not be when you don't promise one girl, say I could marry you. Under you don't know what thing owe you. You just see and see as you find like this, I could like marry you. Early morning, woman go wake up for this, you knock your door, pop, pop, pop. He say, where are you going to? He say, I want to enter that itam side. Wow. Me say if I wanted us to enter itam side. You say no wala. When you want pass itam market, you go say, baby, come. Let us ask how much is back of rice. What you want one? Yesterday when I promised you marriage, you no go wait make 12 years come. So I beg, I dey advise some people for this country, especially ladies, you go get patient. So that when the guy get complete fame, him go come marry you, do the kind marriage. No be when you wake up just say I want to be like this. And for this country, I dey surprise wetin do us. Dem say we copy the white, but I know they see that many things wey the white dey do. No be yesterday wey one man die for US, dem bury am. Wetin I see for dem marvels me. Like dem no even do anything. I no see place where dem say item 6. Ufa odo I take count me, this one count me. Wetin I see for dem na the son carry flower, ordinary flower wey him pick for road. Come cry, daddy, I love you. This is all I can give to you. He put the flower for inside the coffin and bury the man. For this country, person die. Then go cook rice. For person wey malaria and typhoid catch wey no get money cure am. When he come die, then go come cook rice. 2 bags. Another family go come and say your father used to collect head of goat. Then go come tell you make you give 12. For person wey malaria catch you, then go still pounded yam on top person wey malaria catch. Wetin happen? We know we suppose dey minimize some things for this country wey we say person just die. If we know say na malaria and typhoid catch am, we go just know say that one no too get money, we carry am. Even though na foul, people rose, make dem we just bury the man, carry the money, solve another problem. Because wetin I dey see for this country, if we continue to dey pamper with yam, e get the day wey ghost go stand up, carry the pan yam, begin dey go. Thank you.
Okay, still on burial quickly before I say wetin I wan say. That one na one fact. Another fact wey dey some are annoying for burial matters be say you go see say small person die, wey be say for your mind as person wey get conscience, you dey feel pity for the person, dey feel pity for the family, and you believe say everybody think like you. As you dey go the burial, you no even expect say to hear person come dey ask for food and drink. As you just dey sit down dey pity who die, you just see full adults waka come. Then they dey bag them. Who dey here? No food. They come say you come say for person of 20 something years. He say na foul. Make them bring food. Some people don't get conscious. I don't know why. And still quickly before I let Planet enter again, you know this one everybody they guilty. Everybody they always like yara extra. If you go market now, they won't sell gari give you. You as they don't sell finish, come they wait for who they sell. Yara now small extra they put them. That thing they always bring happiness. So from my childhood I always believe say every time they put yara for something they bring happiness. Now today I know say some yara fit bring anger. I dey tell you, as I dey come studio, because I don't dey collect yara, you collect yara, they happy. Today I no even ask for yara. As I dey come studio, I don't tell person wey drive me for Gege, say I dey drop by AKBC in Danya. As I dey go reach AKBC, I say stop, he no gree. The man carry me go reach Audio. As I dey provoke, the man say na yara. I say, which kind yara be that? Audio, how want they come back? He say na yara. People say smile now, they don't put yara. Now today I know say yara, where are they happy before? Provoke me today because I trek from Audio back to Idayang to the studio. It's a serious matter.
Which I want to advise on people for this country. I don't observe plenty things. He said sometimes you need to do something to gain experience. You know what I observe of recent? If you there for this country, you wake up early in the morning, say you won't go election. See as people go do. Early morning, man wey suppose they find you something go come say, oh, my leader. May the people that are against you be against me when you give me that 2-5. I say, now this one shocked me today. The person, my leader, you are going. I did not see anybody in my vision. You go see plenty people wey get vision. Man, where you go even see where person go knock small thing. Say even the last person that won the governorship election came here. My brother, you need to come here.
Now.
I come here. So, ladies and gentlemen, and I tell some people for this country, it says this country be once in a while, go just try small thing, make you know as people they behave. For this country, we got the whole ourselves. Because no be before. Now, so we they enter, you go enter KK anyhow, they go anywhere. For this country now, they used to say, what comes around will surely come around. My brother, what comes around, what goes around, no, they get transport come around again. So as you dey like this, anyway where you know say you no get money to go, no go, because what goes around no get transport to come around again.
Okay, quickly before we run up, as you just dey talk about election, many people don't know say you dey wan run council or so. I have to have experience. You know, I dey always tell people, I don't discourage you. I dey always tell people say, if I make money well, then I dey my house. Some people come say, Obanwo. I say yes, Congo election. I say okay, wait for me. As I dey enter inside, come out now with matches. Because I know say now people wey wan make me dey poor again be that. Because I don't study the way boys they run that matter. When they don't know say man, they feel obtain you. They go dey sag you. After we yempin. After we yempin, so by the time they don't sack you, like if you don't sharp, you go use all your money enter me like this. As I don't suffer enough, you know fit try am. Yeah, afraid was in gaming. I mean, I'm going to get a permit. So come on, I don't be trying to understand. But I wish you well, bro.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I wish you well. Thank you so much for coming to the studio. As you may come, like advising the youth of Akwa Ibom State, remember to stay alive. Akwa Ibom State is too okay for you to die young. Bye bye.
Thank you, Kamkoda and MC Planet, for that session of laughter. Okay, friend, this is where we want to draw the curtain on today's Heartbeat AM45 this morning. And I want to believe we've been able to impact you positively on what you should know, what you should do when it comes to issues around you, when it comes to entertaining, and when it comes to informing you. We're always here to give you just that. Thank you so much for being a part of this program this morning. We hope to do this again next Tuesday, God willing, and I believe you're going to be with us. Keep it with us. Yes, this is where we end it, and you can follow us for the rest of our programs on the station at our social media pages at AKBC and radio, and that is for our Facebook page. And on our YouTube channel you can follow us on AKBC TV. That's where you can reach us with. That is if you can use your TV set in the house. On behalf of the entire crew, this is where we say thank you for being a part of it once again. Caroline Odu is my name, your friend and anchor. Bye bye.